Hello! Welcome to Dear Ali podcast. For this episode, we do find Nemo. Oh, no. It's Finding True Love once again. This is your Dear Ali. Thank you, everyone, for spending your precious time with me. And I've got our our amazing host, our comeback peeps. And thank you for joining me again. Let's do have our John and Ryan. Yay! And we're gonna have them introduce themselves in a bit, guys. And as you do introduce yourself, John and Ryan, please say your age for our new listeners, and also how would you define true love? Let's go have ladies first, John.
Well, hi Ali, hi Ryan. Thank you for having me here again. I'm Joanne, 35, and my perspective about true love is something that beyond we can define because as we learn from our experiences, we've learned that true love is something deeper. It's about letting go, being compassionate, and giving the highest form of self love. Thank you so much, Ali.
Awesome. Woo. How about you, Ryan? What is true love and your age, please?
Hello, listeners. Hello, Joanne and Ali. And yeah, I am Brian, a sweet 26. And for me, true love feels steady for me. When it comes to true love, it's about teamwork. It's two people showing up for each other, respecting each other, and building something that keeps getting better in time. So I think it's all about teamwork and true love.
Wow. I agree, right? It's steady, right? That's why they said, are we going steady now? Wow. Yes, right? So that term that came to become the definition of love or love relationship. We're now going steady. Steady, not study. And
Right.
like what John said, it takes some maturity to be in a true love relationship. Wow.
Right.
Awesomeness, awesomeness. So let's go and ask our beloved co host if true love requires sacrifice. And if so, how much is sacrificing to be tagged as healthy? Or you're just a martyr that needs to be, killed right there in Rizal Park. So please tell me, does it require sacrifice? And if so, how much can we say we can sacrifice? How much that we can tell that, oops, it's no longer healthy. This you're asking me is too much already. So who would like to start?
Me. Let me answer that one, Ali. I think true love does involve sacrifice, but not the kind where you lose yourself, because that's what really important. You really need to check what are the factors regarding that sacrifices, but I think it's more an adjustment and choosing to be patient when it's easier to react, and making time when you're busy, or putting effort into something, or make sure that you understand your partner's feelings. And for me, it's time to sacrifice, or it is the type of sacrifice that feels natural because the relationship matters to you. You're not forced, you're actually not pressured, or you just care enough to meet them halfway. And at the same time, this is the most important thing: real love shouldn't ask you to give up your dreams or your values or your identity. The right person supports those things. So yes, I think sacrifice is there, uh but it should be healthy, balanced, and also mutual for you to work on it.
Awesome. How about you, John?
Well, for me, what sacrifice really means when it comes to true love is understanding over pride. Like when you are the one who did something wrong, you would need to apologize first. Sincere apologies, of course. And you would need to prioritize the relationship that has been built over time, right? Over something overwhelming emotions that you are feeling right now. So um it should come with understanding when it comes to sacrificing, because what are you sacrificing for if you don't understand what the situation is, right? Especially how your partner feel about it,
Mm-mm.
right? So that, I guess, what true love means when you are doing
Mm-mm.
some sort of sacrifice.
Correct, correct. I
Yeah.
believe so as well. True love, you know, from small things to big things, like, giving up the remote. Yeah,
Yeah.
right? Giving up the remote for a time, but not too much, right? Like allowing him to do his Dora for now, but not too much, right? I mean, yes, please, please. I mean, from small things to big things, like what Ryan says. Don't lose yourself. Self erasure means that your partner doesn't love you. He only loves himself. If he wants to be the one that would be, dictating how your partnership or your relationship would go, then where am I, right? Like, what I really do love what Ryan said, that, hey, hello, my dreams, right? Um, I'm afraid a lot of career women are
Mhm.
afraid of getting involved in a serious relationship
Mhm.
because this is their dream. Like, they want to become a career person. They have worked hard, studied hard. Some even took up masters. Some have worked to become professionals like lawyers, doctors, and then you just become a housewife, right? I mean, where am I? I want to write, or I want to, you know, be part of a corporate world as well. And then the husband would say, as soon as we get married, I don't want you to be working. I want you to attend to our children. Then you'll be just a baby making machine, right? I mean, yes, I want that life as well. It's just that I want also to be able to use what I have went to college for, right? I mean,
Yes.
I worked hard for this. I mean, some people even have, um, you know, work, they become what you call it, working students, right? Just for them to be able to finish college, and then all of a sudden, poof, wow, wow. I mean, poof, right? Poof, they have experienced true love, found a partner, the one, and then they got married, and then where am I already? After several years of attending to our children, where am I already? Right? That's why I have this Korean drama
Mhm.
wherein the parents of the protagonist, they're already old, they're already have a family of their own, and then all of a sudden, poof, their parents suddenly would now want to get divorced. Their parents are 70 years old, and then they want to get divorced. Why? Because the mother have dreamt of becoming a career woman. The mother have studied so hard to become a prolific writer, and yet the children were saying, "Mom, you can become a writer even if you don't divorce our daddy." But she said no, because he doesn't believe in my dreams. When we started, yes, I have to attend as a complete housewife. It's okay. I have to attend to my children, but now you're all grown up and you've got your own family. And yet your daddy doesn't want me to pursue my writing career. Why? Because, the father would go and ask, um, Darling, what's the meal for today? Darling, go and fetch me some glass of water. Wow. I mean, the that Korean drama have opened my eyes that hey, I don't want to be like that to end up getting 70 years old or 80 years old and then I do love my family and my husband, yes, but I don't want to spend the half of my life and then only by then that I would start working on my dreams, right? So if the husband truly loves me, yes, this is a good provider, but please also respect that I have my own dreams as well, right, Ryan?
Right.
Thank you.
Yes, I think it's the one of the important things about sacrifices, that is specific stories, right? But yeah, that's one of the things that we need to understand, that sometimes sacrifice means putting someone's comfort above your pride. It's
Mhm.
choosing peace and over being right, and it's learning when to step back because not not because you're weak, but because the relationship is worth the effort. So yeah,
Wow.
that's a beautiful story.
Well said. And John also said that there should be an understanding on the sacrifices. It should be mutual, right? I mean,
Right.
hello, right? If you truly love me, you should understand who I am and I don't want to lose it because the very reason that you first fell in love with me is because I am me. And then once we got married, once we start our own family and build this relationship, I am going to lose me, the very first person that you have fell in love with, and you're shaping me into somebody else that I am not,
Hmm.
then that's delusion. That's why there's breakup, right? So wow, thank you. That there should be for all those insights that you have given. So my next question, guys, can truly love exist without trust? I mean, there's this friends that I know that there's so much heavily love and invested so much emotions, but there's these things, so many little things like checking the phone. Well, uh, well, I have to really. It's a must for me that I do, you know, have an access to his phone, or it's a must for me to know where he is right now. It's a must for me that when he say, "Hey, I'll be going out with my buddies today," and then the other half would say, "Who are you going to be with?" And then hello, hello, are you there? Are you there? Right? I mean, once he went to that event that the husband have said or the wife have said, he would
Yeah,
check on her. I
yeah,
mean,
exactly.
well, it's okay if you check on me because you're worried if I'm okay, that if you want me to fetch you, right? But hello, can true love really exist without trust? uh can you tell me? Go ahead, Ryan, what's your take on this?
For me, to be honest, love without trust feels impossible to keep steady. Because you can like someone, you can be attracted to them, but if you're always doubting their words or their actions, the relationship becomes heavy. It becomes really heavy because trust is like the foundation. And without it, everything else starts to crack. And honestly, trust isn't just about loyalty or being faithful. It's also about being safe enough to be yourself, because when you trust someone you love, you don't think every real thing. You can breathe, you can open up, you can sleep without overthinking, or you can grow together without that constant fear in the back of your mind, because it's all about overthinking. You're thinking that your other half are doing something bad, or so. Yeah, I think love might start without full trust, but it can last unless the trust is built and protected by both people. So you need to really value that trust, because I think that is the key or the foundation of your relationship.
Awesome. How about you, Joanne? Any take on this?
I have a different take on that. For me, love can exist even without trust. Not because the person is doing good, or I mean doing something wrong, but because you give it fully to that person. So um I don't go through the checking of all of the accounts, even if he'll give me the access to it, because I gave my trust at the very beginning. So it's up to that person if he's gonna break my trust, right? And well,
Would
part
mhm,
part of loving the person when it comes to true love is trusting him that he'll grow over time, right? So that for me is true sign of love, because uh we get to give that person a chance to uh be imperfect, right?
correct.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
Because
that's
it,
beautiful.
it's hard to sustain that kind of good image in front of everybody, because we know, after all, we're just humans, we commit mistakes.
Mm-mm.
But if we grow from every mistakes, we're not doing that repeatedly, right? um that, I guess, for me, a person who allows the other half to grow would be a true sign of love for me.
Awesome. But now that you have mentioned about imperfections and mistakes, what if, because of that imperfections and mistakes, our trust have been broken? Can it be rebuilt? What do you think, Ryan?
Yeah, I think trust can be rebuilt, but it's actually it will actually take some time for it to rebuild. It's all about forgiveness. It's all
Mm,
about being with someone who you truly love, because I believe trust can be rebuilt, but it's not something that happens overnight. You need to work on it, and it takes honesty, consistency, and real effort from both sides. The person who broke the trust has to show through actions, not just words, because we have like phrases that we're using most of the time that the words are cheap. Actions
mm-mm.
prove why words mean nothing. So well, but that's really good to hear. But that for that action, they are willing to change and be accountable, and the other person has to be open to healing, not forgetting what happened, but choosing to move forward at a pace that they feel safe. So it's not the only one, it's not the only one person who needs to work on this one. So both sides or both parties needs to work on it in order for their relationship to get stronger. And for me, rebuilding trust means being patient with each other and communicating even when it's uncomfortable. Yes, it's hard, it's tough, yeah, it's hard, we really need to work on it. But if both people value the relationship, the one that they the relationship that they have started, I think rebuilding isn't just possible, it can actually make the bond stronger than before.
Yay! Right. It can make the bond stronger. How about you, John? What's your take? Would you give chances? Can trust be rebuilt?
Well, for me personally, I gave
So
people
many.
so many
So many
chances than they
taxes
deserve.
already. Yeah, I
Right?
know.
So I still
Oh,
believe that after
well,
breaking the trust, it's something that we can really rebuild, right? But like what Ryan says, it's not an overnight process. So uh
Awesome. He
that
needs
person
to
who broke
prove
the
it,
trust
right?
really needs to work hard to
Correct.
get the trust back, to earn
And
it,
yes, and he
right?
needs to really go and do things. Actions speaks louder than words. You don't just
Exactly.
say that, I'll not do that again. No, you have to prove to me that you have changed, that you are now working to be a better person than before. But I'm
R-
just so happy with Joanne because she's allowing this person who have wronged her who to move on his own pace, right? Don't
right.
give in, okay, Joanne? Not yet. Don't give in. Let him prove himself. So let's go and have that. About now that we talk about having him on, waiting for him to respecting that. Yes, he will be rebuilding the trust that he have lost on his own pace. We respect that. We wait. But how about that waiting period? Would timing be really a big player in finding true love? Like, for example, okay, I'm waiting for, uh, right now I'm single, but
Mhm.
I'm waiting for my ex to prove himself, and then
Mhm.
somebody would come along, and he is far better. But right? So, what do you think? Is
Well,
timing would really be playing a big role in true love? Like, so sad. How I wish there's a lot of songs about this. How I wish I was, the right time, wrong person, right
Right.
person, wrong
Right.
time. So does it really exist? Oh yeah, go ahead, Ryan, if you want to go ahead.
Yeah, I think one of our listeners or one of our co-host here, especially John, or our listeners can relate on this one because people always ask how long you should wait for true love, and honestly, it is subjective, right? There's no exact timeline because there's a lot of factors that we need to consider before you um meet that specific timeline for you to get that true love. You need to be fully matured. You need to have a like a peaceful mind or freedom on yourself for you to have that gem in order for you to get that true love. We're all on different paths, and rushing it usually leads you to someone who isn't meant for you. And for me, true love is something you
Correct.
prepare for, not something you chase desperately. While you're waiting, you focus on yourself, your goals, your mental space, your growth.
Mhm.
That way, when the right person arrives, you're ready to love in a healthy and steady way because you're
Yeah.
all good. You're all steady, and all of the factors are already met. And sometimes the wait is what makes it meaningful. It teaches us to be patient. It helps you understand what you really want, and it shows you that you don't need to settle just because you're in a hurry.
Yay.
So the main
Mhm.
question here is, so how long should you wait? I think as long as it takes to feel genuine, safe, and right, and not perfect, but it's real. That's real, 100%.
Yes. Joanne, what's your take?
very well.
Timing?
Well, speaking of waiting, right, based on my personal experience, there's a limitations. Uh, there are limitations in everything, especially waiting, because life is fleeting, right? And sometimes in your waiting, you'll found out something that happened in between the timeline that would really tell you to stop that waiting pace, right? Because I mean,
Mhm.
you're really like losing yourself in the process. Like it's already the time telling you that you gotta stop waiting for that person. So I guess after all the time spent waiting for that person to change, right? Waiting for that person to come back. I mean, um the something that I've learned about that
The hard
experience.
way.
Yes, the hard way actually, because it consumes a lot of my time. Like I was not able to bring myself to meet someone else
Mm-mm.
because I've been waiting. I've been waiting for that person, but I got all the answers now, and what
Yeah.
I've learned about it is that it sometimes waiting is something that we need to put deadlines on
Mm-hmm.
because we have to enjoy life. We have to enjoy other things
Correct.
that would give us purpose and would help us grow, right?
Yes.
So
Yes,
for
I
me,
agree.
yes, the healthiest part is that I've learned discipline. I've learned to love my own companion, myself more, and it's already the time that tells me to stop doing that, to put more time for myself,
Yes.
right?
Like,
Yeah,
yes.
that's beautiful, and I can say that Joanne truly prepare herself in order for her to be ready when the true love comes in her life, and because the right person will come at the right time, not when you feel pressured, but when you're fully prepared. And I think John is ready.
And for our, yes, and for our dear listeners that would say, "What if he wouldn't come along?" Then it's okay. At least you enjoyed your life, right?
Right. Mhm.
What if the right person wouldn't come along? Well, it's fine. Maybe you're destined to be single. You enjoyed the time while you're single, right?
Well, at
Uh,
least for me, I have learned the highest form of love for myself, even
yes.
though I don't have someone, right? Because I didn't know how much I love myself until I experienced the
Mm-mm.
very difficult situation. So that's both physically, mentally, spiritually.
Mm-mm.
I experienced all that.
Yes.
Mhm.
uh, Maturity is it, not being a martyr, right? Yes,
Exactly.
yes. Well, love that. Love our insights. So let me go also share what I could. What's my take on the question? What role does timing play in finding true love? When I was young, I've got friends who would say, at the age of 25, I have to have uh, my boyfriend or my true love. And at the age of 26, I should have gotten married already. And at the age of 30, I should have two kids already. And wow, that placed pressure on my other friends because she's 31, about to leave the calendar, they said. And she's pressured because she haven't found her true love yet, and she's and this friend who's about to leave the calendar also has another pressing thing in her life. She has cancer and she's still single. And she said, I don't want to die without, finding my true love. And that is why she accepted any man who have first came to her, and
Mm.
that is a married man. And
Oh.
it's not really putting a timeline on finding true love, right? Or finding the romantic partner, right? Like what Ryan has said, it would be a disaster if it just, put pressure on yourself, right? I mean, it's not, you know, being too um direct on yourself. Just enjoy your life. Just don't, put pressure on yourself. Please, dear listeners, let, like, for example, I'm 18 now. I should be allowed to have a boyfriend, or I already have graduated in college. My parents should allow me to have my boyfriend now. Well, me as a parent, um, I've got kids, and I allow them to whatever they want to, because not only that, I do trust their own decisions and dispositions and choices, and respect them, that they can make the right choices for themselves, but because I do believe that you don't put timeline on yourself on true love, because I've got friends who found their true love at the age of 13, 16, 20, 24, 30 ish, 50ish. I've even got a friend, one friend who have found her true love at the age of 60. So, you know, let's not put pressure on ourselves that I'm already at this age and yet I don't have a boyfriend yet. It's fine. It's okay for as long as you do find, like what John said, love
Right.
on yourself. Enjoy, right? Life.
Correct.
Develop yourself, like what Ryan said. Grow.
Because,
And mhm,
there are also lots of things that would give us purpose in our lives, not just
wow.
on that one aspect, right?
Mm-mm.
For example, with me, I'm the eldest daughter among four siblings. So, my siblings are the ones that giving me inspiration to move forward and to work harder. Because we came from a humble family, a humble
Mm-mm.
home, right? And we only have that enough for everyday living. So right now, even though I don't have that, the partner, the partner in life, I'm totally fine with that. So
Awesome. Yes, he
yeah,
will come
I was
along.
able to find my way back to my passion, to everything that I wanted to do before
Yes.
I got into a relationship. I have found myself back in the game, on the track that I
Yay.
wanted to uh,
Pursue, right?
pursue. That's right.
Yay. Correct. So, given that, it would lead us to our next question. Because some people, right, because they have a deadline, they have a timeline, even for their career and their romantic relationships. That is why they do may believe that, hey, I can get married without being romantic, without having any romantic attraction, for as long as it's the right time, as I have set for myself, and this is the schedule, this is the standard, he fits perfectly. So, yeah, why not get into this relationship, even without romantic attraction? Do you think true love is there? Is that possible, Ryan?
Yeah, I actually true love comes from everywhere. Uh it's all about the right timing. That is the reason why I think there's a title of the song. We have the right love at the wrong. We have the right love at
The
the
wrong
wrong
time.
time, but it actually the best of both worlds if you find true love somewhere, especially if those places or you're really comfortable. But I think people think true love only comes from one perfect moment or one specific place, but honestly, true love can come from everywhere. It might be someone known for years, maybe your old friend, maybe your old classmate, or maybe it's actually a common
Mm-mm.
friends, or someone you met on a random day, when you're not even looking. There's a
Yes.
lot of factors, like it could be a friendship that slowly turns into deeper, into something deeper, or a connection that that surprise you out of nowhere. And I think the world has a funny way, the world has a funny way that it
Mm.
bringing the right people into your life when you're least expected. Like
Yay.
it 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 it
Like a thief
actually
in the
come.
night.
Yes, like exactly. It comes to you, it will hit you off guarded. So that's why it's important to stay open. Don't limit your idea of love to a certain type of person or a certain setting, because sometimes the best of
Awesome.
story comes from the most unexpected direction, and that what it makes so real. That is what it makes so valuable.
Yay. How about you,
Very
John?
good. He really answers it very well. It's nice. Yeah, for me, yes, it's possible to uh have
Find
true
true
love
love.
without,
Mm.
yep, find true love without romantic attraction. Why? Because love is not just limited to romance. Sometimes it's about the deeper connection that
Mm-mm.
you were able to build with that person over time, the care, the unconditional support,
Mm-mm.
the what else, being
Mm-mm.
there, especially at times when you're needed the most, when there's like emotional understanding and all. I guess for me, that's possible even without romantic attraction at the beginning, because
Nice.
you'll be able to build something bigger than that, not limited to
Awesome.
romance. Yep.
How I wish I'd known that way back then when I was young. I was a really a hopeless romantic, right? That is why I
Well,
said no to fixed marriages. But how I wish I could have learned to, you know,
mhm,
be open. That love comes in mysterious ways, like Ryan said, right? Because um there are these old folks who said, "Hey, love will come eventually," because he's a good guy. But oh, okay. Me, I'm the type of person, the hula baloo, the grand gestures, grand drama. I'm that kind of person. But how I wish I've been open that love may come in mysterious ways, right? Not necessarily starting on a romantic attraction. Like, for example, I've seen a lot of old folks who have stayed with their um, spouses, even for life, and have spent decades with their one and only spouses, even though they were fixed marriages, or
mhm,
it's their parents who set up that marriage. They've stayed together for life and have become, really respectful with one another. All those beautiful um, things, all those values that they have, it went on, and it was amazing, right? That even it didn't start it like, with those fireworks, but because he's a good person, because the formula was there, the trust, the respect, the communication, the choosing to, in small to big things, all those things that I have heard you guys have said and mentioned about what true love is all about. Yes, they spent and didn't divorce and spent up until the old
mhm.
age and together. Thank you guys for learning about that. So with this, may I ask, as you could see, I'm that kind of passionate person. I'm more gearing on the emotional side. So with this type of person like me, this being vulnerable emotionally, can be this important in building true love? How important you think that there's passion? There's How important do you think emotional vulnerability be in a relationship in building true love? Is that important? Emotions or just
Well,
being rational all the time so you
yes.
wouldn't
Well,
get divorced?
for me, well, for me, emotional vulnerability with someone, it's very important, because it's like every day we face a lot of challenges in life, and we need to release the loads. We need at least someone who would listen to us, who would understand. So uh that for me is very important, that we loosen up sometimes our grip, like we make ourselves comfortable with that person, uh, like what Ryan says earlier, just being yourself. That's it. So
Yeah,
that
and I just wanna add on to that. I think vulnerability is fine in a relationship because we all have that sweet spot of vulnerability in our hearts, and being emotionally open in a relationship is actually a big deal. It's all about letting your partner see the real you, your worries, your doubts, even the stuff you're excited about, and without trying to look perfect at all time. When you do that, it makes your bond way stronger, and it's also make it easier for them to open up. So it's kind of like a two-way street. So the more honest you are, the more feelings, the more you're honest, or the more you are faithful about your feelings, the more trust and understanding you build. And yeah, it can feel like a little scary at first because you're vulnerable, but that is actually the stuff that makes a relationship last, because
Awesome.
you deeply know each other.
Wonderful. Thank you. Coming from a man. Thank you, Ryan. Right? Because us women, we're uh we have our monthly period. And our monthly period can make our hormones, think, feel differently. Right? Especially
right,
for the middle age, we also change. Like when we start um on menopause, we change. There's really unexplainable thing because of this, genes or hormones or spiking up and all those stuffs that affects us emotionally, our moods. And thank you. Coming from a man, thank you, Ryan, for understanding, right? This
All right.
vulnerability side of women.
You're always welcome, and especially to our women listeners. Yeah, I hope you learned something about the questions that some of our listeners are sending to us, and yeah, enjoy the things that we can say about this episode, and I hope you learned something.
Oh, yes, definitely. And thank you as well, girls. So don't be afraid, right? Like what Ryan said, don't be afraid to show your true self, right? Because that authenticity can make, don't be afraid to be vulnerable, because that authenticity, that transparency can bind us and have that true love. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. And so, may I ask now, on a different note, right? And this bonding, uh, how about long distance relationship, LDR, long distance relationship? Can true love survive LDR? Who would like to go first?
Yeah, let me go first on this one. Honestly, I think true love can survive long distance, but it's definitely not easy at all. It's hard, it's tough. It takes a lot of trust, patience, and constant effort from both people, because having or being in a long distance relationship is actually challenging, especially if you are a person who is your love language is quality
Always being
time.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, or quality time. So it's hard, and you've got to make the time to communicate, check in on each other, and really show that you care, even though you're miles apart,
Mm-mm.
or even if it's 1,000 kilometers apart. And for me, long distance can actually make a relationship stronger if both people are committed, because you want to learn how to support each other in different ways. But if either person isn't fully invested, or is it a one-sided love, the distance
Mm-mm.
can make problems bigger. So yeah, I think I can actually relate on this one, but
Mm-mm.
I would just want to put that it is possible to last the um long
Distance.
distance relationship,
Mm-mm.
but it only works if you're both willing to put in the work and keep the connection alive, no matter what happened.
Awesome. How about you, Joanne? Do you
Right.
believe LDR can, survive?
Well, based on my experience, I really believe that uh long distance relationship can survive as long as two people keeps their communication on, right? And
Mm-mm.
if it's already built with trust and consistency, because it is difficult to know what the other person is going through if they're not communicating, right? If I mean what's happening about their day, what's happening at work, about themselves, what are they feeling right now, if they're feeling well, if they're sick, something like that. So
Mm-mm.
communication is the number one key. But there are really lots of challenges to help long distance relationship survive. So if both parties are being transparent,
Mm-mm.
being I mean keeping the connection, that I guess long distance relationship could actually survive.
I agree. Communication is the key, right? John and Ryan. You know what? I've got so many OFWs, overseas Filipino workers, who actually became closer to their loved ones here in the Philippines, even though they're far away. Why? Because communication is the key. Quality time is the key, right? How? Well, this OFW friends of mine, what they did, okay, because way back then, the only communication is being able to send postcards from from where you're at, right? From the country that you are now working, before sending you know, uh, letters, right? But now it is a lot better because of social media. Before, it's so expensive. Internet is so expensive that they have to go to a cafe before they can, video call. It was so very expensive way back then. But now, because of YouTube, because of all other social media apps, it has become their stores, their other source of income actually. So that's why have shared before. Um, right? It's so hard to get sick on for an OFW being apart from their family and then they get sick. That's no longer an issue nowadays because there's this network of YouTubers that you have gained so many YouTuber friends or whatever social media app like TikTok. You know, the social media hype have changed the LDR. My friends, that quality time together, it's now 24/7 being together. That's why they become much more closer than they were when they're together here in the Philippines. They have become much more closer because they have they doing video call online. They're online
Right.
24/7 through YouTube,
Hmm.
through TikTok, because and then this social media apps are paying them for being just
Yes.
online, right?
There are really lots of platforms we can use to communicate these days,
Correct.
unlike before, right? We have
And get
to
paid
write
for
a
it,
letter,
right?
yes,
Mhm.
pay for
Yes,
it, and then wait a month to receive their response. That's really taking some time, especially when there's typhoon. So it's gonna prolong the process of receiving their responses.
yes, but unlike nowadays, right? I mean, they don't know. They don't have to ask because it's online. They're live on YouTube. They're live on the other social media apps. They're live from morning to evening, 24/7. Even while they're snoring, their partner right here in the Philippines can see how their husbands were snoring back there in the barracks in Saudi or other countries. They would And then as soon as my other YouTuber friend would wake up, he would say, "Hello, wife. Good morning. Are you there?" Right? "Hello, yes." Then she would say, "Yes, I'm here." Yeah, yada yada, because they're on live and they're getting paid while they do it. And it was so amazing these days that yes, LDR can survive for as long as you got that commitment and trust, right? And trusting these days wouldn't be an issue anymore because we can see each other through social media, right? We can even
I
stalk
agree.
them. So it really is about, having to really have that commitment. If you really want to be with this person, there's effort, right? So, yes, that would now fall us on the next question. Is it possible to fall out of true love? Or does that mean it wasn't true love to begin with? What's your take on this phrase, Ryan?
Oh, is that about the fall out of love thing, right?
Mm-mm.
Um, I,
Yes,
I,
yes.
I actually the fall out of love thing uh is actually common nowadays because falling out of love is actually something that happens, and it doesn't always mean someone did something wrong or something doesn't go off the plan, but sometimes a feeling just change over time and you grow in different directions. That is actually the most important thing about the relationship. You should always respect or acknowledge what is your partner's feelings, because it can feel confusing or even painful, especially if you still care about the person. But it's part of being human, it's part of being a person, that the important thing is to be honest with yourself and with your partner, and instead of forcing something that isn't there anymore. And honestly, falling out of
Not
love,
there anymore, right?
exactly, and like you're just forcing your love to them and they're not accepting it. Oh, that's hard. That's tough actually. And honestly, falling out of love can also be a chance to learn about yourself. You need to do is take a few step backs, or take it easy, um have a slow pace, and learn about yourself. Just focus on yourself and what you want, and what kind of love will work for you in the future. So it will give you enough time to learn more about yourself, or how do you handle this type of problems if you might encounter this one in the future. So
Mm.
that is actually the main thing about falling out of love in recent relationships that we have.
It's just, finally saying, I don't want it anymore, right? How about you,
Exactly.
John? Do you believe that you can fall out of love, or it wasn't love in the first place?
Sorry, but I would give a different answer to that.
Mm-mm.
It's good that we have a balanced answer it from a man and
Correct.
a woman.
Yeah,
So,
Correct.
exactly.
um, uh, that's something I would answer differently because even at I mean even on today's uh
Era.
time, right?
Mm-mm.
I would still say that I still love my
X.
ex partner, right?
Mm-mm.
But the number one reason why uh true love would be destroys the fastest is the lack of respect, because we need
Mm.
to put limitations and deadlines in everything. It doesn't mean that we gave chances they're gonna have that for life. So we have to teach ourselves to put boundaries and limitations to everything, because you know even though I mean, no matter how much you love that person, if that person is not reciprocating, right? He's not changing his ways, right? um True love would actually be meaningless over time. And the
Mm.
one thing is that uh you wouldn't really be able to know if the person you're with right now is truly is the one until you live in the same
House.
house,
Hmm.
right? You see, you're able to see what that person is doing, how he thinks, how he start his day, something like that. So over time you'll see the difference between the two of you. And there's this like psychology side, if you are an introvert extrovert,
Mm-mm.
something like that, there should really be like an alignment.
I see.
So true love is
So,
not gonna be I mean, it's not gonna end that fast, but you'd see a lot of differences between the between I mean in between of you, the relationship that you have. So um that I guess the reason why true love could be destroys the fastest, right? That moment when the euphoria of love is already gone and you have to face the reality of how are they as a person in a day, on a daily basis.
and then no more
Hmm.
respect, right?
That
Like
is
what you
correct.
said. So,
Yep.
yes, I was in love, but I went full out of love because there's no more respect, right? Yes, it was love at the first place, at the start, but I have to love myself as well. I cannot, you know, destroy myself if I'll continue in this relationship, right? I'm destroying me. So I have to leave and get out of this love. And the feelings just there, but since he doesn't respect me anymore, why continue? Right? So he's the one, yes, true love can be destroyed the fastest if there's no more respect. And we really do believe that there's forever love, right? But if that other person doesn't believe so as well, it takes two to tango, right, people? It takes two to
Right.
tango. If we have, yes, we can be idealistic. Yes, we can be also realistic. And it's gone with the era wherein we have to be martyrs. Right now, even the workplace is considering mental health is really valuable. That's why some workplace nowadays do have this mental day off. Do you have that at your workplace,
Yes.
Ryan? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Go, John.
Yes, we have this I mean, we have this wellness sessions at work, right? We get to discuss a lot about the topics relating to mental health concerns and how we can cope up, how we can uh, fight the negative feelings to develop like a self care, self love, something like that. So
Yeah.
a lot of
How about,
people these days are advocating the wellness, the
okay?
well being. Yep.
Yes, but how about, one certain day that they would allow you to take off, mental day off, and still get paid for that day? Do you have that in your workplace? No.
Well,
John and
there's
Ryan
only
works.
like a portion of time, like 1 hour
Ah,
in a week or 30
I see.
minutes, should I
Yeah,
say. Hmm.
yes. John and Ryan, by the way, works at the same BPO. And well, some BPOs nowadays actually do have that mental day off. Not just, some few hours to attend a wellness development program or mental health program, but
Hmm.
because it has become a fad of before, way back then, IQ was a must, intelligence quotient, that they would gauge your IQ first before you can get a job, right? And then the next hype was EQ. They were gauging your emotional quotient. They would give you series of questions if you're applying for a job, because EQ have become a fad and it's very important now for in a workplace. But now also the mental health have become a fad. It's now being recognized as part of us being humans. Now it has become there are wellness programs nowadays, but now also when you would start having a job, Or like other companies, like I know other BPOs that I know, they do have this one mental day off, mental wellness off, that you can choose to apply for a leave for that one day and get paid. And now, when you are going to apply for a job now, they do
Mhm.
also now this mental health quotient. So, meaning it's now being recognized that, hey, the standard have now only about us, rational people. The standard is no longer about, are we, um, even on relationships, right? That's why
Mhm.
we're having this. Even in true love, you know, even if here is my standard, my rationale that this guy is perfect for me, but
Mhm.
if we do not have an emotional connection, or he doesn't respect me, there's no more commitment about little things and such, my my person, me as an emotional person, I'm a woman. I've got these episodes every month. If there's no more of such trust or respect, then hello, would that be true love? And then there's this another factor, which is the mental.
Mhm.
But if I may add, there's also another factor aside from the mental well-being. If I believe that I lost myself, I lost the, I want to have a career, but because I got married, I got kids, the career, the dreams that I wanted is no longer possible, then it's no longer healthy. It's no longer a healthy marriage, right? And then there's a fourth factor that I would like to add, and we will end on this: the spiritual side, right? If you do not believe on the same God, if your God is money or if your God is yourself, and you don't think anymore on that spiritual side of things, then I believe there'll be a fallout. Like what John said, you would really never know until you spend your time on the same house. This is your dear
That's right.
Ali. Thank you so much.
Thank you
I
so
know
much.
for in
Thank
our
you, Ali.
present time, so please come back again. We will have a part three of finding true love because we really do want that. And once again, yes, John, Ryan, say goodbye to our precious listeners.
Thank you so much,
Yes.
listeners.
Thank you so
See
much
you
for
on our
having me
next
here.
episode.
Yes, till next episode. Love you all. This is your dear Ali. Till the next time.